You were born in San Antonio?
Yeah.
And were you exposed to a lot of music, or is there musician blood in your family, in your mom or dad or your grandparents or anything like that?
Not in the sense of anybody kind of even having a dream of playing music outside of like marching band or something like that. You know what I mean? I came to find out later, and unfortunately I wasn't very close with the man, but my blood grandfather on my mom's side, my mom's dad,
your biological grandfather.
Yeah, my biological grandfather, which was my mom's dad. I never knew him.
Was he from San Antonio as well? Is that,
yeah.
I mean, all your roots, grandparents, great grandparents,
on my mom's side. Yeah,
on your mom's
on
side.
my dad's side of Mexico, but on my mom's side, her dad was an amazing piano player that I didn't know. I would hear every now and again, like, well, you get it from your grandfather, and that would be the extent of it. They would never like elaborate on it, and I would never ask. I never knew the guy. I heard he was an amazing piano player. That's all I knew. And then the other day, because it's been a few years since he passed away, quite some time actually. But I was on the road with Los Dinos. It was really busy. I didn't know the guy. I never went whatever to the funeral and all that stuff. But my sister had this really nice grand piano, like a mini grand piano in her house. And I went over there the other day, and I'm like, oh, where did this come from? What is this? And she's like, oh, it's Mariano's, which was my mom's dad. And I like sat there, and I was like, I could feel how much he loved that instrument because it was really well taken care of. And then I had a conversation with my aunt around it, and which was my mom's younger sister, and she was like, he was an amazing piano player. Like, he could play this, he could play that. And so if I could trace it back to anybody who might have loved it as much as I did, it would probably be him, because there's nobody else in my family that really cared about playing music that much. They're all of them are lovers of music, but as far as being a musician, this is none of them.
So your parents kind of exposed you to a large spectrum of music, different genres. It wasn't just one certain typical, like Tejano, only Tejano, or only...
No, as a matter of fact, that was the least played. Tejano music was the least played music in anywhere around me. I think the only time I heard anything would be I was little, and my dad's mom, she was my Ita, and my Ita would play... which would be kind of
like conjunto
stuff, but Christian. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
Paulino Bernal stuff.
I guess I don't even know who it was. I just remember it was usually around my nap time, and she'd have that thing on in the kitchen, and it would just like I couldn't get into it, And then they would break, and then it would be a pastor talking in Spanish with all the delay on the voice, and I'm like, what the heck is this dude even saying? You know what I mean? So it turned me off right away. So anytime I heard that music, I was like, I'm out.
Se congregan en mi nombre, ahí voy a estar yo.
But rock the boat, don't rock the boat, baby.
I'm in my chones, standing on the bed with my Peter Pan poster right here, dude. That was me all day.
Yeah. So you went to school, and what schools did you attend in San Antonio?
I moved around a lot. Coming from a divorced home, like I don't remember living with my dad as a child.
Okay. So right after you were born, your parents split up, or was it?
Yeah, I was 4. And I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember much of any. I remember certain events, but I don't remember like being home and just things that I as an adult now I do with my kids. I don't have those memories with my dad.
Those weekends and stuff like that.
Yeah, the holidays, the dinner, breakfast, driving to school, just everything. I'm a real hands-on kind of dad, you know what I mean? And I don't have those memories with him. I was really young.
Yeah. So you kind of grew up around your mom,
Yeah,
thing.
and being like broke a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the time, you know, and on food stamps and things like that, which of course at the time I didn't understand, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We moved into some, man, there was at least 5, maybe 4 different apartment complexes that were rent controlled, that we moved through as a kid between the ages of 4 and 9 years old, you know. And then I used to go to school in the city, like downtown, right across from a theater that was pretty seedy, you know. It was dodgy. Like you had to be careful walking around there, you know. And here I was in first grade
What part of San Antonio was that?
in the city, like
Okay.
now it's a jewelry, but it used to be the Alamo National Bank, the Aztec Theater now.
Okay.
Which they've cleaned that area up quite a bit.
That
But
theater
back
looks
then
really
in
nice.
the 70s,
Yeah,
it was
rowdy.
yeah, it's kind of like the difference of like people go to Manhattan now and you see it all fixed up. And I mean, it has it because I have a place out there too, but it still has its dark sides, but the majority of it is like all lit up and it's beautiful, and they, you know, like what you would imagine when somebody says Manhattan. But back in the 70s, Manhattan was a really rough part of town, you know what I mean, before the city got involved and started fixing it up. Was downtown San Antonio kind of reminded me of that. Back then as a kid, it was a lot rougher than it is now.
At what point in your elementary years did you finally find a little stability by staying at one school? Because you obviously had to be making new friends every so often, or what? Or
No, I never really felt stable, and I always felt like the outcast. I always felt like the new kid. I always felt like I didn't belong. I was a lot smaller than everybody in my class because, like, I was born right on the edge of the last day you can be born to go into school. So I was always the runt of the class, you know?
Yeah, that happens, man.
Yeah, so I never felt, you know, my mom, when I was 9 years old, she remarried, and we moved to the complete, what I considered to be at the time, like,
The ritzy part of town.
Yeah, which it really wasn't,
Yeah.
but compared to where we were, it was, right? So I thought it was.
It was an upgrade, you know.
It was. But so I had to switch schools. So here I am in 4th grade. Like after Christmas break, I started at this new school. And you know how elementary school can be, man. You know, going in with everybody's already gotten to know each other. You're the new kid. They're going to try to pick on the weak
They didn't
stuff.
have the anti-bully campaigns back
Hell
then,
no,
bro.
man. No, it was like you got to go through the ropes.
Yeah.
So I always felt like the new kid, you know.
Yeah.
I went through that, and music was kind of, that's where it started becoming my escape. When I would listen to, I would start connecting with some of the other kids through music, and the love that we had for Kiss. You know what I mean? Or
Isn't
Van
it crazy
Halen.
how music brings people together like that, man?
Yeah, and then we would have our magazines and like, oh, you got the new issue of whatever.
Hit Parader and
Yeah.
Cream Magazine and
Big time.
Circus, all those magazines, pre-internet days when we had to wait a month or two to find out our news of any of our favorite bands, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so when as all that is going on, and I start getting into a groove and a vibe with everybody there in school and starting to feel like, okay, I belong now. I'm not the new guy anymore. Then you got to switch schools to middle school, and now you got 3-4 elementary schools meeting up at one school. So then it's like starting over again. And then right when you start feeling comfortable there, it's time to switch to high school, and then you got all these other ones. You know what I mean? It was just, for me, I never felt like at peace there. You know what I mean? Like I never felt just like I belonged.